If you're relatively new to improvisation and chords and what scales go with those chords, start here. I have a chord scale cheat sheet that if you use, you'll be able to navigate through, I'm guessing about 90% of your chord changes that you see, especially when you're just starting out to improvise. So I use major scales, melodic minor scales, diminished scales, pentatonic scales, and whole tone scales. Now I gotta say, of course, you don't want to always think scales and chords in theory, and you actually don't really want to be thinking at all. You just want to be playing. But in order to get to that point, I think it's important to know what scales are appropriate for which chords, and you have to start somewhere. Now in this cheat sheet, there are only one option. So, for example, if it's C7 sharp 9 chord, I put the D flat melodic minor scale or C sharp melodic minor scale and harmonic spelling. But there are other options you can use to play through a C7 sharp 9 chord. But for now, I just give you one option, and that is on purpose because I want to keep it simple. I don't want, when I was in college, it was always, well, over this chord, you can play this, and you can play that, and you can play this, and you can play that. And there were like 5, 10, 20 different options for each chord change. And my head I was just swimming after one of those lectures. So I, as a beginner, wanted to just know, okay, where should I start? What would be the easiest chord that would have all the right notes in it, right? And of course, there are more avoid notes in certain scales than others, but at least here's a good place to start, in my opinion. So the sheet is all in the key of C. You're going to see on the left side of the sheet all the scales in the key of C. And what you're going to do is you're going to have to transpose, because obviously not all your chords are going to be in C, right? So you're going to have to transpose either up or down, whatever's easiest for you. For example, let's say you see a D minor 7 chord. Well, a D minor 7 chord, you can navigate through that by using a C major scale. So what you want to do is transpose from D minor down a step and play the C major scale starting on the note D. Now, obviously when you improvise, you're not always going to want to start from root position. You're going to start from wherever your ear tells you. But it's a good place to start. Also, if you see F sharp minor scale, you want to make sure that you transpose down a whole step and not a half step. So it's an F sharp minor 7 chord you're looking at. You want to play an E major scale. If you see an E flat minor 7 chord, you're going to want to play the D flat major scale. So remember, it's a whole step down and not a half step. Other examples are, let's say for example, you see a D7 sharp 9 chord. Well, I would suggest that you start by playing the E flat melodic minor scale starting on D. If you see an E7 sharp 9 chord, play the F minor melodic scale starting on E. More examples would be, let's say for example, you see a G7 chord. Well, you're going to want to play the C major scale starting on G. So what I'm using here are modes of the major scales, and I have a tutorial on that as well if you want to check that out. And that's about it. If you have any questions, be sure to comment below. I'd be happy to answer them for you. It can be kind of complicated at first. Actually, it can be really complicated at first. So I tried to simplify it by giving you one scale choice to go with your chords. So I would start there, particularly if you're just beginning to improvise. If you found this video helpful, consider going to my website at jefflewistrumpet.com and subscribe, and you will receive 11 scales for jazz improvisation. And I have the 5 scales I just mentioned in that. But you can also go to my website and download a bunch of other free stuff. I've got jazz etudes, jazz duets, and a jazz trio. Other helpful videos, hopefully. And thanks for watching.